man-made homes for hundreds of birds. Kilometers of trails to walk. An army of volunteers fighting invasive weeds. These things and more combine to make Burnaby Lake Regional Park what it is today, thanks to the efforts of a group of people known as the Burnaby Lake Park Association.
This week we're going to head to the other end of the lake.
Today, there are 3 surviving members of what is known as the original Group of 10. Now in their 80s, these men have just as much passion for the lake as they did 50 years ago, when the park was nothing like it is now.
I'd come down in a rowboat and I'd look around and I'd find the creeks, and I still remember the smell because of the sewage and the oil and all the other stuff that was dumped into the lake. Back in 1972, the Park Commission proposed a stream bylaw to Burnaby, and Burnaby accepted. They started to fix up the sewage because all the storm sewer lines all drained into Burnaby Lake one way or another.
We thought that if we were going to make progress, it had to encompass a greater variety of people that are interested in the lake and the outdoors, and so we opened it up and let other people come in.
It was a community, and all those fellows lived in Burnaby, you know, as I was telling you, the original 10. And in fact, we have a book called The Group of 10, about when we started and how we went about it all.
I suggested that we should build a trail surrounding Burnaby Lake to protect it from misuse, preserve it for the public as a nature preserve, because it's really a beautiful place.
The driving force behind the trail building project was Bob Gardner. He knew the city of Burnaby wasn't able to dedicate funds to trail building, but there was federal government money available, and Gardner figured out how to acquire it for his beloved park.
He put together a proposal, and we got our first grant. There was enough money there to hire 5 or 6 people.
We enjoyed about 2 or 3 meetings a year where we get together at Mrs. Gardner's place and the tea and everything, and have our official meeting and you know what we're working on next. So the projects went from one project to another.
Bob Gardner was what held it all together, and the cement behind that was his wife.
By 1995, Gardner had been able to get more than $1 million worth of grants. By that time, the trail system that's now integral to the park was well underway.
The only way to have people come down there, and that's to have them come down where it's pleasant. Before, it was impossible to walk through.
Now, it's sort of beyond our wildest dreams. If you come out here on weekends, you almost have traffic control.
The reopening of a brand new boardwalk at Piper Spit in September of '94 was followed by the completion of the Loop Trail 2 years later, the realization of a long-held vision by the Burnaby Lake Park Association. A bench in Bob Gardner's memory stands facing the butterfly garden outside the Nature House, a facility that also owes its existence to Gardner's knack for acquiring government funds, and the Park Association's willingness to pitch in with free labor.
We were hoping that we could have a nature house built here, but there was never any money for a purpose like that. This was a Burnaby city property at the time. So our proposal was, look, we'll take it over and we'll renovate it to your standards.
After reaching that goal, the volunteer group was able to shift its focus away from infrastructure to programs that continue today, like the care and maintenance of 250 bird nest boxes around the lake.
This is our foe, beautiful but deadly.
And the continuing effort to rid the park of invasive weeds through the regularly scheduled Weed Busters events.
The Burnaby Lake Park Association is a driving force in making this happen. We are very fortunate to have a community around Burnaby Lake that cares about this place and wants to ensure that this wildlife is accessible to people for many more years.
Of the 3 surviving founders, only Joe Sadowski is still able to be actively involved in the Park Association. A younger group is now in charge, and so the legacy of the Group of 10 lives on.
They've always been a public participant, and I enjoyed it, and I got a hell of a lot out of it. I hope to leave the world a little better place than what I've found it, not what I can strip out of it and turn into money.
It's just a very, very satisfying feeling that you've been a part of it. come out on weekends, look at the cross-section of people that are here, and I think that's marvelous that these people are coming out and they're saying, wow.
Well, I'm just glad it's still here, and I hope others will maintain it just the way it is and keep on it.